Good morning, members of Parliament, support staff, those in the Public Tribune, radio listeners, TV viewers, those following via social media, and members of the media. Welcome to this Central Committee meeting number 7 for today, Monday, December 4, 2023. I would like to give a special welcome to the Minister of Finance, Mr. Ardwell Irion, and his support staff. Also would like to acknowledge the presence of Minister of Justice and her support staff in the Public Tribune. We have established a quorum of 11 members. Please stand for a moment of silence. Thank you. I have received notice of absence from the following members. MP William Marlin. Are there any notifications? No need. We have as agenda point for this meeting draft national ordinance amending the National Ordinance Budget 2023, National Ordinance Budget Amendment 2023, Parliamentary Year 2023-24-173 under document IS/228/2023-2024 dated November 21st, 2023. We go over to the agenda point. Parliament received the draft National Ordinance Budget Amendment 2023 on November 21st, 2023 under document IS/228/2022-23 dated 21st November 2023. All members have received a copy of the draft National Ordinance, and it can be found on the Parliament General Team. At this time, I give the floor to the Minister of Finance, Mr. Ardwell Irion, for his opening remarks and presentation on the draft National Ordinance Budget Amendment 2023. Minister of Finance, you have the floor.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Khafir. Good morning to honorable members of Parliament. Good morning to my colleague, Minister of Justice, Anna Richardson. Good morning to those of you in the Tribune. Good morning to the general public. Mr. Chairman, today I'm here to present the amended budget for the year 2023. In this presentation, I will provide you with insight into the major amendments and also make the link to the actual figures based on the last Q3 report. In this presentation, I will provide the insight into the following: the process of the budget amendment and the reasons for the delay. Then I will provide insight into the major adjustments made to the amendment budget compared to the initial budget. Lastly, I will touch upon the CapEx for the year as included in the budget 2023. First, I will address you with the challenges and developments we face within the preparation and approval of the budget 2023. To provide some context, the initial approval of the 2023 budget took place in the Parliament on March 31st, 2023. Subsequently, we received directive Article 12 from the CFT mandating adjustments to the multi-annual budgets for the year 2024, 2025, and 2026. They specified the need for surpluses instead of balanced budgets in 2024 and 2025, with a surplus beginning in the year 2026. Additionally, the CFT insisted on the inclusion of a multi-year investment plan spanning from the year 2024 through 2026. In our discussions with the CFT, we expressed our concerns about the fairness of amending the entire budget 2023 to accommodate the multi-year adjustments. We emphasize that the budget is a projection and inherently subject to changes based on updated information over time. Despite our concerns, the CFT insisted on immediate adjustments to the budget 2023. We did argue this requirement and could be considered during the budget 2024 adjustment. Despite our reservations, we began the process of amending the 2023 budget promptly after receiving approval for the capital expenditure. We submitted the loan request to the Central Bank on May 10th, 2023, and I will delve deeper into this capital expenditure process later in my presentation. Responding to the CFT remarks, we swiftly updated the 2023 budget, obtained approval from the COM on June 6, 2023. However, upon submission to the Governor, it was returned due to the necessary adjustments to the Landsverordening and the Memorie van Toelichting. It was crucial to note that the adjustment pertained solely to the multi-year figures for the years 2024, 2025, and not the 2023 figures. As the budget awaited review from the Council of Advice, it became apparent that it wouldn't be processed in Parliament before the recess. That delay resulted in our awareness of updated and realistic information, leading to further necessary changes to the 2023 budget. Factors contributing to the extended delay included the refinancing of the loan tied to the ENYA, the incorporation of justice function changes into the multi-year aspect, and the integration of the Q1 and Q2 actual reports. These unforeseen circumstances significantly impacted our timeline, and I will elaborate further on the specific challenges and adjustments as I proceed with my presentation. Continuing from our previous discussion, I'll delve into the adjustments requested by the CFT, specifically focusing on two key areas highlighted in their advice. Firstly, the CFT emphasized the need for adjustments in the multi-year results, aiming for positive outcomes starting from the year 2024. In response, our revised overview demonstrates a positive result for the year 2023, amounting to 1 million guilders. Moving forward, the amended budget illustrates a positive result of 2 million in both 2024 and 2025, with an anticipated positive result of 6 million guilders in the year 2026, consistent with the initial projection in the budget 2023. It's also important to highlight that, as we communicated to the CFT, budgets are inherently dynamic and subject to change based on emerging information. In the current iteration of the 2024 budget, currently en route to Parliament, we project a profit of 1 million guilders for the year 2024. This figure is influenced by the refinancing interest and is subject to the further adjustment pending the outcome of the ENYA discussions. At the time of formulating the 2023 budget, numerous variables were uncertain. The impact of changes in the Justice Function Book, the terms of the refinancing loans, and the evolving actuals for 2023 were all unknown factors. Consequently, we opted for a conservative approach, indicating balanced budgets for 2024 and 2025. However, with the benefit of hindsight and now the clearer picture of positive developments in 2023, we find ourselves aligned with a positive result for the upcoming years, specifically in the years 2024 and 2025. This alignment underscores our commitment to addressing the CFT's concerns as requested and adjusting our financial plans accordingly. As we navigate through these dynamic circumstances, it is crucial to recognize that ever-evolving nature of budgetary considerations and our dedication to adapting to new information and to ensure fiscal responsibility. Now I'll go into the actual adjustments to the figures for the year 2023. I will begin with the revenue. The total increase in the amended budget 2023 compared to the initial budget is approximately 23 million guilders. In the initial budget, we expected a revenue of 495 million guilders for the year, and the amended budget, we expect a revenue of 518 million guilders. This has been adjusted based on the actual figures in the quarterly reports. The amended budget was compiled using the information from the second quarterly report. Per today, the third quarterly report was issued, which of course now has the most recent information of our actuals. In the third quarter report, we expect a result at the year end of 5 million guilders. However, as stated in the amended budget for the year 2023, there are certain items that are not always fully incorporated in the quarterly reports, as they are made aware of at a later time. As of Q3 for the year 2023, we commence issuing the Quata Rapportage in English, as we deem it important that it is comprehensible to more individuals. The outlook for the year 2023, as included in the third quarter report, is a revenue of 519 million guilders, which aligns with the revenue in our amended budget of 580 million guilders. The significant adjustment, which clarified the addition of 23 million guilders in the amended budget, for the year compared to the initial budget 2023 revenue are the following: 11 million plus in taxes, 9.6 million in other revenue. The increase in taxes is due mainly to an increase of 14 million in profit tax, 4 million in wage tax, and 3 million in income tax, which is offset by a decrease of 10 million in tourist tax. The tourist tax was initially budgeted to go into effect on July 1st, 2023. However, this did not happen. However, the 10 million guilders was covered by increases in other taxes, which led to a reclassification of taxes, income, and even an additional income of 11 million for the year 2023. The increase in other revenue is due mainly to the other revenues, such as other revenue drivers, such as driver's license and various other fees at the census. In addition, an additional 1.8 million guilders has been budgeted for funds to be received from the EU to finance specific projects such as early warning systems and the single-use plastics. Expenditures. In line with the revenue, there's also an increase in expenses of approximately 22 million guilders. This leads to a net result of 1 million guilders for the year 2023. This increase in expenses is primarily due to an increase in the personnel cost of 5.7 million guilders and the material cost of 16 million guilders. The personnel cost increase is primarily due to the increase of the actual cost of the OZR, which is approximately 10 million guilders higher than initially budgeted. 5 million of this increase is incorporated in the personnel costs and 5 million in the social provisions which relate to the medical assistance. The remaining 12 million guilders mainly due to an increase of 8 million in goods and services, of which 4.5 million relates to goods and services under VRUMI, 1.8 million relates to costs associated with the revenue received from the EU, and 1.6 million relates to the increase in costs under justice for the SBIR application, which is used within the law enforcement chain in the islands Aruba, Bonaire, Statia, Saba, and St. Martin. In addition to the above, as we received the definitive calculation from the justice pertaining to the function book, which was presented to the governor on August 18th, 2023. As these payments will be made in the installment, it was key to include these in the multi-year budget. As such, the amounts pertaining to the specific years were included in the multi-year aspect of the budget. Capital expenditures. With regard to the capital investments for the year 2023, no changes have been made. The total capex remains unadjusted of 90.1 million guilders. In November 2023, we finally received a 60.8 million guilders requested loan. In the initial budget, we had an amount of 74.1 million guilders because we were unsure if the Netherlands was going to pay for the phase 1 of the prison. However, phase 1 was paid for by the Netherlands, and we only needed to request 60.8 million guilders for the remaining investments, as the remaining 29 million guilders was covered by the Netherlands, as I previously mentioned, which also included the investment of the tax system and the financial management system. As stated previously, on May 30th, the letter was sent to the requested loan by the central bank. However, on the 31st of May, we were informed that the process of the loan request has since changed because of COVID, or since COVID. As such, a risicoregeling and risk assessment had to be made and approved by the Council of Ministers of the Kingdom, so the Kingdom Council of Ministers, and also the first and second chamber, which was also new for us in St. Martin. Given the recess, also in the Netherlands, the approval came in September 2023. After approval, the central bank still had to officially put out the release for inscription to the loan, which was done at the end of October 2023. This all led to us finally receiving the CAPEX loan on our bank account on St. Martin Day, November 11, 2023. We did not expect the process to take so long. However, we remain committed to taking all the necessary steps and responding as quickly as possible to accelerate the process. Given the fact that the CAPEX was received at the end of the year, we have included all these investments in the budget for the year 2024 in order to secure the execution of them, as they have to be included in the budget of the specific year in order for them to be executed. In addition to the above, however, while waiting for the loan, we started the process for the actual investments. As such, the items which we were able to commence with were the investment in Raoul Village. So Raoul Village, we have the KNVB, which is Dutch Football League. They are officially, I think the process already has started with updating the football field and the updating of the track, which will be an official, I believe, Olympic quality track. The purchasing of laptops and screens for the entire civil service. The tender for the new tax system, which was published in May and closed in August 2023, and is expected to finalize very, very soon. The financial management system has been tendered and awarded, and the implementation is to start on January 3rd. Investments in roads has also begun. I believe Orange Grove Well Road currently is on the way, among a couple others. So while we were waiting on the official funding for these of CapEx, we already started the process of the advice process so that once the money is here, we just pay and not then start to execute. I'm very happy to have been able to secure the capital expenditure of 90.1 million guilders for the country St. Martin after so many years. The country has been in dire need of capital investments and infrastructure investments and have been able to secure this for the country as a grand achievement. This has led to actually being able to invest in a much needed new financial management system, as I previously mentioned, tax system, much needed road repairs, school repairs, and many others. Mr. Chairman, I thank you for your attention, and I'm very happy to see the positive developments to the economy, which in turn leads to a positive impact on our budgets and finances. The budget for the year 2024 is currently at a Council of Advice, and it will be sent to Parliament very soon as it is returned. We look forward to any additional questions you may have pertaining to the Budget Amendment 2023, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Minister of Finance, Mr. Irion, for your presentation. To which member of Parliament can I give the floor? I see MP Ludmila de Wever. No? MP Akeem Arundel. MP Akeem, you have the floor.
Good morning to everyone. Good morning to the support staff, Facebook and radio listening viewers. Sorry. Minister, I'll dive into it. Basically, I'm going into first to the justice. I see here in the budget amendment, I see based on the budget for the figure, there was a total of 2.5 million guilders budget for the retroactive pay for the police force. I really would like to know what does that mean, former police officers, current, the ones who sick, the ones who are inactive. Also, I've noticed I see no retroactive for amount budgets for prisoners, immigration officers, custom officers. Can I receive a examination of a progress, how this is going to be paid out to the people, for the justice workers? And also for the searches, personnel of Zeke Mellon for the workload and custom, how is that being handled? For all people who are calling Zeke and thing, the person that also who joined the force, including custom, or resigning, how is that being handled? Pertaining to the custom officers, can maybe VKS help them out? The same way how they help by the prison guard, they help the junior police too. Can they help the custom officers? Because right now they are short staff. My next is also going to education. I haven't seen what is the status on the school repairs. How will these school repairs be achieved? When will they commence? Can I get a example as why there are no budget amounts for the repairs for the school in Mel Region? Sister Maryland School. Have any amount been allocated with regard to assisting the school improvement with the comfort of the classrooms on warm weathers? Has any research been done to introduce solar panels for the schools to lower the high cost, because, you know, GB right now is ridiculous. Has any consideration been made with regarding the installation of the air conditioning in the classrooms? I have been approached by several teachers and parents from certain schools regarding to the lack of water coolers on campus. Has the minister thought of ways in which this matter can be addressed? For finance also, the current backlog faced by the tax department by the vineyard is not at risk of, does the backlog currently faced by the tax inspectors not at risk for the budget? Has the ministry considered allocating funds, for instance, for the workers as bonus over time to help them get a backlog so this could be cleared by next year? And that's it for now.
Thank you, MP Hakeem Arundel. The next person is MP Sarah Westcott-Williams. MP Sarah, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and a good morning to you. Good morning to our support staff. Good morning to my colleagues. Good morning to the minister and his support staff. Good morning to all persons tuned in to this meeting of the Central Committee of Parliament handling the amended budget 2023. Mr. Chairman, before continuing with my questions, if you, Mr. Chairman, can explain the process for the handling of the amended budget. In other words, is it the intention that we only ask the more financial questions to the minister and are other ministers going to be present, or we ask all the questions and the Minister of Finance will take them back to the Council of Ministers? It is the latter. It is the latter. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And with that having been clarified, again, a good morning to all. Mr. Chairman, in the budget, one of the things that was mentioned as the reason for the delay in the budget 2023 as amended is the payment to justice workers. This has been mentioned all along as one of the reasons. In the amended budget 2023, I recognize that the budget that was for the police organization, retroactive payment for the police organization of just over 2 million guilders has in this amendment been increased with approximately 700,000 guilders. What does this mean for the payout to justice workers in general? One, can the minister provide the picture of the payout for the justice workers and what the now just over 3 million guilders on the retroactive on the police organization budget, who, and how will that cover? What, who, and how will that cover? That's my first question. Mr. Chairman, one of the increases, in fact, the biggest increase in this amended budget, I believe it's approximately 10 million guilders, has to do with the medical cost. So the budgets for medical costs, personnel, and otherwise has been increased. And then I ask, what about the changes that are to be made for medical coverage, considering that a general health insurance, as announced by government, can no longer go into effect on the 1st of January 2024. The government has been promoting reparation legislation to offer coverage to those persons who today fall between the cracks as far as medical coverage are concerned, to mention taxi drivers, bus drivers, vendors, and sole proprietors. So, with the general health insurance that is projected in this amended budget to save the country 8 million guilders, with that not going into effect until hopefully according to government, the 1st of January 2025, what happens to the uninsured categories like I mentioned at this point. Mr. Chairman, the issue of GEBE. In 2017, the government entered into an agreement with the BTP as far as our utility company is concerned. So there is an agreement on the table by the government for BTP to also exercise regulatory control, if you wish, on GEBE. And my question is, what, if anything, has ever been done with respect to this MOU? Has BTP ever done any type of regulatory actions as far as GB is concerned? If so, what actions and when is that the case? Mr. Chairman, with the adjustment of the minimum wage, as I indicated to the Minister of VSA on more than one occasion, that brings along as well an adjustment to the social welfare known as understand and the payment of understand to the persons who receive such. As you might know, Mr. Chairman, the understand, social welfare, social assistance, is tied to the maximum of the minimum wage. And so, with the minimum wage increase, this amount for understand, social assistance, needed to be adjusted as well. Has that happened? If not, why not? And if so, what is the extra cost involved with making that adjustment? Mr. Chairman, with respect to the CAPEX, one of the projects, the much debated projects, is of course the Phillipsburg Marketplace and the extended project that the government on more than one occasion has presented here in Parliament. Given what the minister just explained, can the minister step by step indicate what is to happen, when is it to happen as far as this particular project is concerned? One would recall that the Minister of TIAT indicated that it was the 1st of December that activities would have commenced where the Phillipsburg Marketplace is concerned. Today, the 4th of December, nothing has changed, not even an indication that changes are to come where the marketplace is concerned. Mr. Chairman, I heard the Minister of VSA speak about the pension indexation. I'll not belabor that issue once again, but unfortunately, by the time the government went through the route that it went for the pension, so I'm talking AOV pension, to be indexed, we were in the month of November. Government had tried to do this indexation by a so-called LBHAM, which of course was not possible without the law being adjusted to allow the government to do such. Finally, that has been completed, and the Minister of VSR indicated that the retroactive is not going to be paid out in December, but the pensioners who are entitled to a so-called 13th month of pension will receive their 13th month in December, and the retroactive for 2023 in January 2024. Can that picture that I just sketched be confirmed, or, if not correct, be rectified? Mr. Chairman, in this budget amendment that we have before us, much has been mentioned regarding a road plan, the road plan of the VROMI minister. Can that plan itself be shared with the Parliament of St. Martin. So which roads are we going to be doing, Mr. Chairman? Which prompts me to ask, is the Orange Road repairs, are those repairs completed? Because Orange Grove Road in Coal Bay. What I saw being done there over the last couple of days and seemed to have been completed, in my opinion, has put the road of the Orange Grove Road, has put the condition of the Orange Grove Road even worse than it was before, in my opinion. One using the road, one seeing the road. So I would like to know, one, what is the total plan? Which roads are going to be fixed and how? How are these roads going to be fixed? Mr. Chairman, I want to focus on those issues for the opening of this meeting. And yeah, Mr. Chairman, for now, I want to leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Sarah Westcott-Williams. The next person is MP Ludmila D. Weaver. MP Ludmila, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning again to everyone, Minister and his support team here, those viewing and listening in, and my colleagues here. Very, very quickly, it may have been briefly mentioned. I'm just going to keep it very simple to start off with. In preparation for this budget meeting with persons within the community, one of the recurring questions that came up from persons in various ministries was, in your budget meetings, where is it stated that there is a COLA payout and adjustment? And this, like I mentioned, it came from various ministries. What is the expectation of civil servants is that there's going to be a COLA payment made. And what they informed me was that it was not retroactive, it would be for 1 year. And of course, I proceed to say which year. This year, is it for next year? How is it calculated? I hear various amounts of 1% from one ministry, but then the other ministries are saying 2% payout. So just to, while I noticed we have a budget amendment for specific topics, we have also results that said we're expecting more revenue than anticipated. But what I really need to find out now is the expectation that has been made and built up to civil servants, especially at a very precarious time of the year where it is the holiday season. And I want to make sure that expectations are managed and realistic. So specifically, what exactly was promised to civil servants about COLA payout? What does it include? Who is going to receive that payment for what period? What amount? Thank you very much.
Thank you, MP Ludmila D. Weaver. The next person I see is MP Grisha Heiliger Martin. MP Grisha, you have the floor.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Good morning to the support staff. Good morning to the minister and his support staff as well, and both ministers and their support staff, and those visiting with us on the Tribune and those listening and viewing online and on the radio. Mr. Chairman, I just have one question, as MP Westcott has actually summarized most of my concern in her questions, in her line of questions, as well as MP De Weaver. I hear, Mr. Chairman, in the presentation through you, Mr. Chairman, regarding the a lot of investments. I'm hearing a lot of investments, a lot of new things that are coming up in the pipeline. But the most important thing that I haven't seen as a priority is the Parliament building, Mr. Chairman. The Parliament building, which can offset a lot of cost. Is that a priority? Has that been made a priority? Can I get an indication through you, Mr. Chairman, from the Minister of Rami, or maybe through the Finance Minister, if budget has been put in place and what's the status there? Because that will indeed offset the price of all the rent we're paying, and we're like at least a year off. So I would like to get an update on that, please, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Grisha Heiliger Martin. The next one is MP Sarah Westcott-Williams. MP Sarah, you have the floor.
Thank you once again, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I overlooked a question that I had, and that regards the recently opened and dedicated tourist office. And what are the financial consequences for the new tourist office compared to where the tourist office was located. Did that require any amendment to the budget, the amended budget 2023? If so, where is it to be found? Can a financial picture of the new tourist office be provided to Parliament, and as well as the projection for whatever kind of payments are going to take place, rent, lease, whatever the situation may be, if that can be provided to Parliament as well? I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, MP Sarah Westcott Williams. The next one is MP Melissa Gums. MP Gums, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I just have a few questions right now for the minister, for the other ministers as well. First off, Minister, you mentioned the tourist tax, which, as the public may recall, is the failed health levy that was then sent to the Ministry of VSA to find a solution for it. What are the challenges that have prevented the legislation from moving forward, as it was featured heavily as an extra income driver in the original 2023 budget? Under service agreements for the Ministry of Justice, the amount budgeted for Margarita Grocery NV, which relates to the prison food, has increased to 740,000 guilders. The last time my colleague MP Peterson asked questions about this particular budget item, we were informed by the ministry that the intention was for the prison food contract to be put out on bid. I don't recall seeing this go out, so if you get an update as to that particular item. And lastly, for now, the IMF report of July 2023 is featured quite heavily in this budget amendment, mostly regarding economic recovery projections. But there are also a few recommendations in there to further improving economic recovery that deals a lot with governance and government, financial management and fiscal responsibility and policy in government, and processes, the streamlining of processes, because the numbers will just remain projections unless structural reforms are taken up to address the concerns that the IMF highlights, namely the duration for permits, licenses, etc. And we've all received complaints of permits taking 6 months to a year for certain people to actually process and finalize. So if the minister could provide an update as to what are the plans for addressing the IMF's actual recommendations to make those projections then of actual reality. Thank you.
Thank you, MP Gums. The next one, again, MP Sarah Westcott Williams. MP Sarah, you have the floor.
Just a quick question, Mr. Chairman, has the presentation of the Minister of Finance been shared with Parliament? If it hasn't, is it the intention that it is? I haven't seen it come into the members of Parliament, but if that can be provided and shared with the members of Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, members of Parliament. And I look to my right. The first question is, Minister, are you sharing the presentation? It's sent to Garrick? Okay, hopefully it shouldn't be shared with all of us. I don't see any more members of Parliament for any questions. I will look to my right. How much time would the minister need? 2 minutes? Okay. We'll adjourn for 2 minutes. Meeting adjourned. Welcome back after discussing with the minister, who requires about a couple of hours to prepare his answers. And at 2 p.m., we have a meeting with the Central Voting Bureau. So we will continue at 3 p.m. with our CC meeting. Meanwhile, we'll have a break for lunch from 12 to 3. Meeting adjourned.